Whoa, buddy. Got one of my favorite bows of all time that got shipped in, a Mathews Q2. We're restringing it, setting it back up, paper tuning it, the whole 9 yards. Stay with us. If this is your first time watching, click the subscribe button, please and thank you. We had a guy that watches some of our videos and stuff ship in a bow. We made him a string. I've got it behind me. We made a X99, BCY X99 tan and black string. This is a Mathews Q2. Still has the original factory strings on it. This whole setup takes me back. We got an original whisker biscuit. You'll see more of it later. We got the original string. We got cat whiskers. We're putting more cat whiskers back on there. Man, this is going to be cool. I should have kept my Q2 just for whatever's sake. But when these bows came out, we sold a ton of them back in early 2000s. And I had one, should have never got rid of it. I kept my Q2 XL. So when these came out, they made a SQ2 that was a little short 31-inch bow. The Q2, which was a 34-inch bow. 31, 34, and 37-inch Q2 XL. I kept my Q2 XL. Now, I don't really ever shoot it, but it's just one of those bows that shot great. I won a good many tournaments with it, so I just kept it. But this was one of the greats. I'm going to put the cable on. Thanks for tuning in. If it's your first time tuning in, we do a podcast, we do a tuning video, and we do a live feed every week. Check us out. Let us know what you want us to talk about or do, and we'll try to do it. Thank you for watching. Alright, we made it to the bow vise a day late. I ended up not finishing up yesterday, so we will continue today. What we've done so far is, on a lot of these older Mathews bows, they have the way you get your cam timing right is you line those two holes up right there. I usually lay an arrow flat, which I did, and you get it parallel with the string, so we're looking good there. And what I've found is if it's just slightly leaning forward of parallel, it'll actually be a little bit quieter. Not much ahead, but just a tad. So, I got it where I want it. Still excited about this good old bow here. We'll get my bow level pretty much there now. I'm going to put a level on the arrow and get it level. And that's perfect. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and tie my little knots that I do inside the loop. Technically, sometimes I wouldn't do this because he's got a whisker biscuit, but just in case he upgrades, he'll have this with a drop away or whatever. But we'll go ahead and do it. I got some other videos where I get closer than this and you can see exactly how I'm doing it, but for now I'm just going to get it done, get his peep sight set back where it was at, and check his idler wheel and see if it's leaning at full draw, and then paper tune it. Usually these bows are some of the easiest to paper tune with everything set dead down the middle. I'm going to eyeball his center shot. It's close, it may be a little in, but I'm going to leave it alone until we get back there. Alright, let's get the bottom one tied. Little gap. I'll get rid of my levels. We'll go ahead and take a little bit of this glue and dot around that knot that I just tied. I'm not getting any on the servant itself, just on that tied portion so that an arrow knot can't grab that knot. Most of the time, I used to never do this until recently. You're tying from the inside out, so the knot's out of the way anyway, but I've had some arrow knocks where the injection molding is at, or where they did it at, want to grab and pull at that so it'll untie it. There we go. Accelerator gets that good and dried quick so we don't have to wait. Find my piece of loop that I cut somewhere right here. Putting my brown one on here. Then we got some spider legs we're going to put on. I don't know that I've done that in a video before. Used to put them on every bow I did. And then we'll go check out some stuff. Might have cut my loop too short. It's going to be close. It's shorter than I want it. I'm going to cut another one, another piece. BCY number 24 is what I use the most of. We did recently get some Gibbs glow-in-the-dark super loop that I want to test out, because I think for a hunting bow it'd be neat if your loop glowed in the dark. Stand by for further testing. Just mainly want to make sure it's not super stretchy or frays up easy or anything. But I've often wondered if the same company, most likely BCY, don't make the same loop for about everybody, because there are several companies that it feels pretty much the same as others. We'll cut that. Let's use some cutters so I don't chop a string in half. Perfect. Let that cool off. Now we're cooking. We'll get that loop tied around there again. Stretch it out with my little, I like these little Craftsman micro needle nose things. They're stainless so they don't rust. Get it snug. Line up his old loop. Get his peep sight set. I hope I had it right way. Okay. Ooh, he's got a low peep sight. Right there. I don't worry too much about where the peep's at right now, because once I get it tied in, I'll twist it or do whatever I need to do. Let me put the bow down and I'll restart. Tie this in. If you were to need a bow worked on and you don't have a local guy or whatever, check the description of this video and I'll have all our contact information. We are getting more and more people calling and shipping in bows, and they say, you know, hey, my local shop is closed or whatever, and we definitely appreciate the extra the extra stuff, the work it gives us. So it's always nice. And time frame wise, people always ask about how long does it take. Obviously, it'll take the bow a couple days to get here. Just to be safe, we normally tell people we'll have it in-house 2 weeks, although there's sometimes we've only got it here a couple days. And then, you know, I've had people say, I'm in some sort of emergency type situation, I need it back. And as long as you call us ahead of time and we can get it, make sure we're not way behind, we can usually work with that. But anyway, I always tell people 2 weeks just to be safe that it's here, and then a couple of days back to you. But most of the time it's a little quicker than that, just according to what we got going on at the time. If it's obviously if it's a month before hunting season into the first month of hunting season, it's going to definitely take that 2 weeks. But other times of the year, maybe not. Get this tied. Give it a good pull. Got it. Okay. Our peep is relatively straight right now. And again, I've said this before. When you put a peep in, obviously the string's twisted. So according to what height that peep is at, you're not just going most of the time magically push it up to your height and it be straight. You're going to have to twist or untwist the string a time or two to get that peep straight. And then it should stay put. But we've had people, you know, call and say, I put my string on and put my peep back to the right height and it's sideways. And I'm like, is it, you're saying it's starting out sideways or straight and going sideways? And they're always like, no, it's sideways. And I'm like, well, you got to twist it and get it straight. It's not, you know, if the string had 0 twist in it, that would make sense. But with it being twisted, and you got to rotate it to the right spot. Anyway, just throwing that out there. Let's put on our fancy cat whiskers. I don't think I've done this yet on video, so this will be fun. I kind of like a smaller cat whisker. So what I'm going to do, I got 2 pieces here. I don't know that they make them anymore, but they used to make a very thin rubber. I mean, it was, the little creases were about half the size of this one, and it was more of a rubbery feel. I don't know how to describe it, and I hadn't seen it in a while, but I really preferred it. It would lay flatter and all that. But I'm cutting these in half. I'm gonna get me some of my BCY 3D serving thread ready, and all I'm gonna do is lay this up on the string, take my serving thread, I'm gonna wrap it one complete turn around it, make sure I'm in the dead center, and then I'm gonna throw a knot, and I'm gonna get this really tight. I used to keep my fingers tore up doing these jokers here. I'm gonna go to the back side, sort of like I would those little knots on the loop. Another knot, trying to keep it as tight as possible. Back to this side, another one, and then I'm gonna lock it down. Perfect. And I'm gonna pull it pretty much tight as I can get it. I'm gonna burn that down. Try not to burn the rubber. I'm gonna do the same thing on the bottom. So the closer you get to the center, or the closer you get to the loop, I guess I should say, with these, the quieter the bow will be, but most likely the slower it's going to go. So you don't want to get too crazy and get them way up there. You also got to watch out for the top one. If you get it too low, it'll dangle and you'll see it through your peep sight. So, you know, I come down from the, say the top serving, you know, probably what, 3 inches, according to the bow, you know, if it's according to what kind of serving, how much clearance you got and what the actual axle is and all that mess. But these things really work. You know, the way they work is when we fray them out in a minute, it's got 100 little fingers or spider legs or whatever, and they're rubber. So all the energy that's going to go into making that noise kind of goes into those rubber strands, if you want to call it that, and makes it super quiet. So you pull these out, put a little tension on them, and cut them, and they pop right out. When I used to do this in front of people all the time, they'd be like, wow. And this is sort of a, sometimes I'll make them smaller than this. I like it on the smaller side. I should have, well, I can show you the way they were on there on the old string is old school. And the way this gets put on there is literally you just take that strand and tie a knot in it and cut it. And it works, it just don't look so pretty. It looks like a fishing jig or something. And then I'll take and do that. You could still trim it up like there's a longer one. Give it a little haircut. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. And then we're ready to go to the draw board. Leave a couple long ones there I'm going to work on. Other than that, we're looking pretty good. Alright, peep sight looks straight. Let's go over to the draw board and see. What I'm going to be checking is make sure that idler is perfectly straight at full draw. Then we're ready to paper tune. Alright, I'm going to see if I can do this one-handed. I'm going to try my best so I can show y'all what I'm doing. It's interesting. I'm using my foot and my hand. So we maxed out, looks like right on 70 pounds. That's a good thing. I can see that I've hit my stop or the wall or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to take the Spot Hog laser, and it's machined flat, perfectly flat. I'm going to put it on this side of the idler wheel, perfectly flat. I don't know what you can see, but I am hitting literally the outside of the axle, on the very, very outside of the limb. So my hope is I'll be doing the same thing on this side, although it's rare that it happens that way, but I think we just lucked up. See how I'm hitting that right there? It did the same thing on the other side. So what that tells me is this idler at full draw is perfectly square to that bottom cam, and that's what I want. Now, there are instances where it won't tune perfect, and I'll have to actually induce a little bit of lean. I like it when I don't have to do that, but there's a few times here and there I do. I think it was on maybe a Hoyt video we did. We had to put a little lean into one, but anyway, we're ready to paper tune this jewel. Alrighty, we got this Q2 old school whisker biscuit. This is before they even had the notch in them. See what she's going to do here through the paper. We got a 380 grain arrow, 100 grain tip. This is an A cam, which I believe should be a 30-inch cam. This bow is 70% let off. It's a 70-pound bow. I don't know what else you would want to know, but let's see what she does here. That is not bad. I'm going to shoot it one more time, and then I'll show you what she did. You know, the newer biscuits have a tougher bristle in the bottom, so you're actually supposed to shoot your odd feather up. This one's just straight, all the same bristle. Let me twist that loop a little bit. There we go. We got all the same bristle in here, so I'm shooting the odd vein out. Man, it's not as good of a feeling bow as you'd shoot now, but just I like the feel of it. It's sort of a soft cam to me. Alright. Pop the camera out of here. And there's what we got. I'm going to leave let's chronograph it. I'm going to just leave the camera going. Hopefully I don't make too much racket putting it back in here. This bow, if I remember right, was rated at 310 feet per second. But this is a 380 grain arrow. I'm going to guess we're around 280. What y'all think? Get it lined up. I'm going to guess 280-ish. See where we land at. 276. I was close. Hopefully y'all were too. There's the old chrono. So if there's anything we can do for you, you let me know. Check out the description for all our contact information. We'll be happy to answer any questions, even if you don't need to purchase anything from us. But if you'd like to ship a bow in, you can call us or get custom strings or anything like that. Really appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you on the next video.